as an African, we communicate with water. Water and river means a lot to us as black people, as Africans. We communicate with our ancestors, we communicate spiritually. Cleaning this river, I will take it with pride. Ndithatha ngothakazelelo, ndiyavuya uba ndithatha inxaxheba yokucoca la manzi, because I know ukuthi abantu bakuthi bazafumana impilo, bafumane ukutya, baphile.
This is the Swartkops River in South Africa. About 3 kilometers from its mouth is one of the many settlements that spread across its banks, with luxury housing, fishermen, and a vibrant bird life. Yet, if we travel upstream, things look a little different. If we move even further upstream, things start to look a little bit better again. Rivers, a body of water that flows downhill due to the force of gravity. Their ultimate goal is to reach the ocean, or another body of water, like another river or lake. The world's rivers are practically uncountable, as not all are present throughout the year. National Geographic writes that less than 3% of the Earth's water is freshwater, and only 0.3% of that is found on the surface, such as lakes, rivers, and swamps. This image went viral a few years ago, showing the river basins of South Africa. Here is a similar one of the whole of Africa. These two images show just how vast the number of rivers in the world must be. A lot of these run through urban areas, such as cities or towns. Popular ones would be the River Thames in London, or the Hudson River in New York. There are thousands of urban rivers all over the world, but what most people don't realize is that these rivers serve a greater purpose to their location, other than just simply identifying them.
So there are a lot of people on the landscape. For example, in the Swartkops catchment and even in Abuja, there are a lot of people that rely on the benefit from the rivers as their means of livelihood. So for example, in the Swartkops catchment, you have a lot of fishers, you have people, even the spiritual worshippers, you have recreational and tourism potential.
Izinto ezicontributayo i-river for thina ziprovida ukutya, i-transport, amayeza, zininzi izinto eziprovidayo, but
functionality of the urban rivers in Africa generally, and even in Nigeria particularly, it's beneficial to residents in the urban center, city dwellers. And then it's also used negatively, which also affects the residents negatively too. Most people or human beings living in cities subject it to wrong use. Rivers in urban centers are often used as dump sites for waste, both solid waste and sewage.
The implication of this is that you have a lot of microbial pathogens that are dangerous to humans. And what that means is that if humans get in contact with this water, there is a high degree of risk that you may contaminate, or you may going to be affected by diseases. But the other part of the degradation is that because of escalating water quality deterioration, the biodiversity is disappearing, okay? And what that means is that once the biodiversity disappears, it means that the capacity of the river to, one, provide the benefit and services to society also, goes away because of the degradation, because of disappearance of biodiversity. But also the sediment quality, there's evidence that the sediment quality is highly contaminated, So there are a whole lot of challenges and degradation that have taken place over the years in the Swartkops.
The Swartkops River is situated in the Eastern Cape of South Africa. Fueled from the mountains in the region, it flows down and empties into the Indian Ocean. Its approximate 46-kilometer length runs through various types of settlements, open farmlands, and urban development.
When you talk about the ecological importance of the Swartkops River, for example, it is supporting one of the most important and critical estuaries in the country.
Now, you spoke about the flamingos, the beautiful birds. Now, for the tourists, you see, but today there are no people that are busy there because there's nothing there and it smells dead, you understand? So my vision is to bring back those birds.
This estuary also acts as a breeding ground. So now, because of pollution, some of these birds have disappeared.
In this article, it states that the Swartkops estuary is one of the most important estuaries in South Africa, as it houses a variety of invertebrates and a host of over 200 bird species.
From long before, in Sakula Nama, I used to swim in the river, Swartkops River, there it was okay there. So to us, it provides people, there are people who are fishing in this river. Now, if this river is in this condition, that means those people are going to hungry, are going to sleep with empty stomach. Somebody akazotya, somebody uzawulamba, uzawuhlupheka because of ezinhlanzi. They will provide impilo nokutya kubo.
From January 2016 to December 2020, the International Science Council implemented leading integrated research for Agenda 2030. In partnership with Network of African Science Academies and financial support provided by the Swedish International Development Cooperation Agencies. The overall goal of the program is to build the capacity of the next generation of African scientists to lead the innovative rethinking of urban futures on the continent. According to the United Nations, more than half of the human population now lives in cities around the world. Africa has not yet reached this level, but it's well on its way. 7 of the world's 10 new megacities anticipated by 2030 are situated in Africa.
The philosophy behind the LIRA program in general is that if we are going to achieve sustainable development in Africa, then we need to do research differently. And the idea of doing research differently is that we need to start doing research within the concept of what we call transdisciplinary research. So transdisciplinary research draws on academic knowledge, practice knowledge, and even knowledge from the community in order to be able to effect solutions to urban sustainable challenges.
We are interested in looking at this environmental issue and the water issues from 3 perspectives. The first is the ecological dimension to the research. We also have the social dimension to the research, and also the third, but not the least, the institutional dimension to the research.
The LIRA program itself involves a number of countries on the continent, but for our project, it's involving Nigeria and South Africa. So our project, which is being funded by the LIRA program, is called Enhancing Urban River Ecosystem and Wetlands. And the notion of the project is that we're trying to better understand what are the policy and practice gaps or challenges that contribute to the degradation of urban rivers that we see in Africa. And we are using Swartkops River in Port Elizabeth area and rivers within the Abuja municipal area as case studies to better understand this.
These satellite images show, within the span of 20 years, the rapid development that has taken place in the city of Abuja.
Abuja has experienced a rapid shift, influx of people. So there's rapid urbanization going inside. There is this kind of the settlement setting is in 2 ways, the formal and informal. Where you have the formal, where everything, the infrastructure is there, you have the informal among the formal. So even though the infrastructure is there for the formal, there is still pollution caused by the informal settlement, which is also leading to the urban water pollution.
We chose FCT because that is the primary hub for administration. And that is the center where every other policy or law as regards managing water resources and the environment, and including the wetlands, are managed. Look at the Whooper River. The Whooper River in the FCT, in Federal Capital Territory in Abuja, moves across the city center. You find a whole lot of businesses that are dependent on these rivers, particularly the Whooper River.
Rapid urbanization brings with it many challenges associated with population density and the increasing need for services. The 2030 Agenda for Sustainable Development aims to address that. This agenda is a plan of action which involves a number of countries to work in collaboration to free the human race from poverty and the need to secure our planet.
This research is targeted at contributing to the Sustainable Development Goals, particularly SDG 6,
ensuring availability and sustainable management of water and sanitation,
and SDG 11,
making cities and human settlements inclusive, safe, resilient, and sustainable.
The LIRA project brings in a couple of initiatives that will ensure comprehensive protection of our water resources. One is that through LIRA project, we were able to identify gaps that exist within our governance, water governance. The project was able to identify positive and negative enablers that could assist a government institution in better managing our water resources. One of those that I've identified is that as government departments, we are working in silos. So there was no collaboration until this project came in South Africa. So just yesterday we were launching the River Cleanup campaign, which was a collaboration that was brought in by LIRA Project. So we were collaborating with the municipality and other government departments to launch this river cleanup initiative together with the communities. So through LIRA, we are able now to conform and comply to the principles of the integrated water resource management, which promotes cooperative governance and also including the communities in water resource management. We have seen that they introduced the floating wetland, which are meant to reduce the nutrient load into the Swartkops River, which is a great initiative because we've had cases where we had an algae bloom in the system, and we had a lot of fish kill because of this nutrient enrichment and also microbial pathogen or contamination in the system.
Xa sigqibile ngale process purify amanzi, it could also provide fresh water for thina ngoba emanzini kuhlala fish, kuhlala intaka, there's a lot of things ezihlala emanzini, but ngoku ziyasuffocated because amanzi amdaka. So uthi once sigqibe the project into yobana abe clean amanzi, could provide nezinye izinto apho singakwazi ukwenza ii-activities nabantwana, mhlawumbi sibafundise ukuqubha, mhlawumbi siyenze ii-programs ngasemanzini. So izokwazi into yoba simanyanise i-community yethu, kungaphinde kulahle okanye kuphinde kubuyele kule nto iyiyo.
From the ongoing LIRA research in Nigeria, it has identified various institutional challenges that contributes to further degradation of urban river. So taking Abuja, for example, at each level of governance, the national policy goals ensures environmental protection and conservation of national resource for sustainable development in Nigeria.
Part of what we are now doing is to build capacity in the community, is to upskill these young people so that they can take ownership of the catchment.
We have seen that the bottles that have been collected are reused for food gardening or for planting flowers, or you can even recycle them instead of dumping them within our floodplain.
Kuba silulutsha namhlanje sibona i-community yethu igcwele yi-land and water pollution, sibone into yokubana funeke sithathe inxaxheba sibe yi-part of utshintsho. So silapha into yokubana sikwazi ukuklina ubumdaka bamanzi plus ne-land, si-maintain for i-community yethu ibe clean.
So ensuring access to water sanitation for all, I believe with the evaluation and the analysis, it can lead to better formulation of water quality policy.
To bridge the gap between the key stakeholders managing urban rivers, like the agencies, ministries, agencies, and departments.
It is not enough for just academics to identify and define the problems. What is fundamental is that we have to step out of the university environment, engage with the policymakers, engage with the community, first of all to say, what are the problems? What are the challenges? Okay? With the notion that they too have knowledge to contribute. And then we can collectively ask, what can we do together to improve what we see as the problem and turn the story around? So that is the underpinning of the project and the contribution that we are making.